Once upon a time, in a vast and powerful kingdom, there lived a queen who always got what she wanted. Her eyes sparkled with pride and wisdom. The queen had only one son, a young prince, whom she loved above all else. She wanted him to have the very best in life, nothing less. The prince was dressed in the finest clothes, ate the most delicious foods, and learned from the most skilled teachers across the land. Every day, the queen reminded him, "My son, you are the future of this kingdom. You must grow strong, smart, and wise, for one day you will rule with honor." As the prince grew, it was time for him to marry. The queen called him to her room, her face serious and kind at the same time. "My son," she said, "you must choose your bride yourself. A princess is not just beautiful. She must be intelligent, graceful, and carry herself with dignity." She leaned closer and whispered, "Above all, a true princess has a voice of an angel. Listen to her voice carefully. It will reveal her true heart." The prince promised he would follow her advice. He packed his bags and set off with his servants to find a princess worthy of his love. The journey was long. He traveled through dense forests where the trees whispered in the wind and rivers that sparkled under the sun. On the first day, he reached a neighboring kingdom. The king welcomed him warmly, impressed by his manners and charm. The king led him to his daughter. The princess was beautiful, sitting in a sunlit room, reading a poem with delicate hands turning the pages. The prince greeted her politely, but her voice was harsh, breaking the beauty of her appearance. She barely looked at him as she spoke. Concerned, the prince asked if she was well. She replied curtly, "I am fine," and returned to her poem, ignoring his polite gestures. The prince realized that outward beauty alone could not define a true princess. With a heavy heart, he thanked the king and left the kingdom. He traveled further, hoping the next kingdom would bring better fortune. His heart was full of hope and curiosity, yet tinged with worry. In the second kingdom, the prince met another princess. She had radiant hair and a charming face, but her manners left much to be desired. The princess ate greedily, not noticing the prince greeting her politely. Her lack of grace and elegance disappointed him deeply. The prince felt sad. Once again, outward beauty was not enough. He thanked the king and queen of that land and continued his long journey. For many days and nights, he traveled through mountains, rivers, and forests. Each kingdom held hope, yet none seemed perfect. His disappointment grew heavier. Finally, the prince returned home, exhausted and discouraged. His parents greeted him warmly, and he shared every story, every hope, and every disappointment he had faced. That very night, a fierce thunderstorm swept across the kingdom. Lightning flashed in the sky, and the loud roar of thunder shook the castle walls. The prince gazed out of the tall castle window, watching the rain pour down in sheets, feeling the chill of the storm and the loneliness of his heart. Suddenly, he noticed a faint light approaching the castle gate through the driving rain. A figure was moving carefully but gracefully in the darkness. A knock echoed through the hall. A servant cautiously opened the door, revealing a young girl drenched from head to toe, shivering, yet standing with poise. "My driver got lost in the rain," she said with a sweet, clear voice that sounded like music to the prince's ears. "May we please find shelter for the night?" The prince hurried down the stairs, offering her a warm welcome. He took her wet coat and invited her inside, amazed by her calmness and elegance despite the storm. The servants quickly brought dry clothes and towels. The prince could not take his eyes off her. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. The queen, however, frowned as she observed her son. "She cannot be a princess," she whispered. "Her dress is muddy, she has no attendants, And why would a princess travel in this storm? Seeing the prince enchanted, the queen devised a clever plan to test the girl's true nature. She would see if she was delicate enough to be a real princess. The queen instructed the servants to place an uncooked pea under 10 luxurious mattresses in the royal bed. Only a true princess could feel such discomfort. That night, the girl climbed the tall stack of mattresses, settling down with elegance. She seemed unaware of the hidden pea, and her movements were graceful. The storm raged outside. Rain lashed against the windows, thunder rolled through the castle, yet the girl lay still, calm and poised, waiting for morning. In the early morning, the girl whispered to a servant, "I hardly slept last night. There was something hard in the bed, like a brick, pressing against me." The servant nodded quietly, understanding that the test had been passed. The prince, hearing this, felt a sudden rush of joy and excitement. He rushed to her side and exclaimed, "You are a true princess. Your delicacy and sensitivity prove your royal nature beyond any doubt." The girl smiled softly, embarrassed but happy. She agreed to marry him, adding playfully that she would never sleep on such an uncomfortable bed again. Laughter filled the castle halls, mingling with the last echoes of the storm outside. Everyone in the castle rejoiced at the prince's happiness. A grand celebration was prepared. The halls were decorated with flowers and golden tapestries, and the citizens of the kingdom were invited to witness the joyful occasion. Musicians played melodious tunes, and dancers performed gracefully. The prince and princess moved together, radiant in their joy and love for each other. The queen smiled, finally satisfied. Her son had found a princess who was not only beautiful but also delicate, graceful, intelligent, and truly deserving of the crown. The next morning, the castle buzzed with excitement. Servants ran through the halls preparing flowers, ribbons, and fine linens for the grand celebration. The prince and princess walked together through the corridors, smiling at the servants who bowed and whispered words of congratulations. The princess's voice, soft and angelic, filled the castle. Everyone who heard it could not help but stop and listen, enchanted by its sweetness. The queen observed quietly, a proud smile on her face. Her son had finally found a bride worthy of his heart, someone both beautiful and true. Outside, the storm had passed, leaving the garden sparkling with raindrops. Sunlight reflected on the flowers, creating a magical glow around the castle. Guests arrived from far and wide. Kings, queens, and nobles brought gifts and well wishes, eager to witness the union of the young prince and his princess. Musicians began playing cheerful tunes, and the castle halls echoed with laughter, chatter, and the rhythmic sound of feet dancing on polished floors. The princess, now dressed in a gown of finest silk, moved gracefully through the crowd. Every eye followed her delicate steps, enchanted by her elegance. The prince stood tall beside her, proud and joyful. His eyes sparkled as he held her hand, feeling the warmth and gentleness of her touch. The ceremony began in the grand hall. Candles flickered softly, casting golden light over the faces of the gathered guests, while gentle music played in the background. The priest spoke words of love, honor, and commitment. The prince and princess listened carefully, their hearts beating in unison as they exchanged vows. When they declared their love and promised to care for one another forever, the hall erupted in applause, cheering, and joyful cries of congratulations. The newlyweds danced together for the first time as husband and wife. Their movements were graceful and synchronized, as if the world paused to watch them. Outside, the sun shone brightly, reflecting off the wet gardens from the previous storm. Birds sang in harmony, as if celebrating the union themselves. The princess laughed softly, her voice like music, filling the hearts of all who heard it. The prince laughed with her, feeling complete and joyful. Servants brought trays of golden pastries, fruits, and sweet delicacies. Guests indulged, sharing smiles and stories, making the castle walls echo with happiness. The queen watched silently, her heart full. Her plan had tested the girl, but her son had chosen wisely. Love, patience, and true grace had won. As the evening fell, lanterns were lit in the gardens. Their soft glow danced on the leaves, creating a magical scene for the prince and princess to enjoy. The newlyweds walked through the garden, hand in hand, sharing quiet words, smiles, and laughter, feeling as if they were the only two people in the world. The castle cats and dogs, servants, and even the palace birds seemed to celebrate quietly along with them, adding to the magic and warmth of the perfect day. The night sky was clear, stars twinkling above the castle. The gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers, adding to the magical evening. The prince and princess sat on a carved stone bench in the garden, talking softly about their dreams, hopes, and the adventures that had led them to this moment. The princess's hair glistened in the moonlight, and her eyes reflected the stars. Every movement she made seemed like poetry in motion. The prince felt a deep sense of gratitude. After such a long journey, he had finally found someone who was not only beautiful but pure of heart. They walked along the garden paths, their hands intertwined, feeling the soft grass under their feet and the warmth of each other's presence. Servants quietly tended to lanterns and fountains, ensuring everything in the garden glowed softly for the couple's evening stroll. The princess smiled and whispered, "I have never seen such a beautiful garden, nor felt such peace in my life." The prince held her hand tightly, smiling in return. The queen watched from a balcony above, feeling proud. Her son had found someone with both grace and character, just as she had hoped. The castle dogs wagged their tails happily, and even the birds seemed to sing more sweetly, as if they understood the joy of the newlyweds. Inside the castle, candles flickered gently, casting golden light over the walls, creating shadows that danced like tiny fairies celebrating the love. The princess laughed softly, and her laughter echoed through the halls. The prince smiled, realizing that her voice truly was like an angel's. The couple returned to their private chamber, where a warm fire crackled in the hearth, filling the room with a comforting glow and a gentle warmth. They sat close together, sharing stories from their pasts. The prince spoke of his journey, the princess of the small adventures she had lived through. The storm from the night before had cleared, leaving a fresh scent of rain on the air. The moonlight spilled through the windows, highlighting the princess's serene face. The queen entered quietly, smiling. She had prepared a small gift for the princess, a delicate golden necklace adorned with tiny gemstones. The princess accepted the gift with a soft bow, thanking the queen warmly. This small gesture deepened the bond between them. Servants brought trays of sweet treats and hot drinks, and the couple shared them quietly by the fire, enjoying the calm and warmth of the evening. Outside, the castle gardens glimmered under the moonlight, and the gentle sound of water from the fountains added to the serenity of the night. The prince whispered softly, "I have waited for you my entire life." The princess blushed, feeling the sincerity and warmth in his words. They held hands, hearts beating in unison, grateful for the journey that led them together. That night, peace and happiness filled the castle as they looked forward to their future. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the windows, casting golden light across the castle halls. Birds chirped cheerfully outside, welcoming the new day. The prince and princess rose together, refreshed from their first night in the castle. They dressed in elegant robes, preparing for the day's celebrations. Servants brought breakfast of fresh fruits, golden bread, and sweet honey. The aroma filled the room, making the couple smile at the simple pleasures of life. The princess laughed softly as the prince poured her a cup of warm tea, steam rising in gentle curls. Her voice was melodic, filling the room with lightness. The queen entered, holding a delicate flower crown she had prepared herself. "For my daughter-in-law," she said, placing it gently on the princess's head. The princess blushed, bowing slightly, and thanked the queen. The gesture deepened the bond between them, filling the room with warmth and love. The prince took the princess's hand, leading her to the castle balcony. Below, the gardens sparkled from the recent rain, petals glistening in the morning sun. Children of the castle waved happily, and birds flitted among the trees. The prince and princess waved back, feeling the joy of their people surrounding them. Later, a parade was arranged through the castle courtyards. Musicians played lively tunes while dancers moved gracefully, entertaining all who watched. The princess watched, clapping softly, her face glowing with happiness. The prince's pride in her was clear as he smiled beside her, his heart full of love. The queen observed from her throne, her eyes shining with pride. Her son had chosen wisely, and the princess had proven herself to be delicate, intelligent, and graceful. As evening fell, lanterns were lit throughout the castle, casting a warm, golden glow that reflected on the polished floors and sparkling tapestries. The prince and princess walked hand in hand through the lantern-lit halls, sharing soft words and smiles, feeling as though the world had paused for them. Servants quietly served trays of delicacies and sweet drinks. The couple enjoyed each bite, savoring not just the food but the peaceful atmosphere of their first day together. Later, the couple retired to the gardens. The moon shone brightly, reflecting on the wet petals, and the gentle sound of fountains created a serene melody. They sat on a stone bench, sharing stories of their childhoods and dreams for the future. Laughter and soft whispers filled the cool night air. The princess rested her head on the prince's shoulder, feeling safe and cherished. He held her close, promising to protect her and love her forever. The queen, watching from afar, felt joy and relief. Her plan had tested the princess, but in the end, love, grace, and true character had triumphed. The castle, filled with light, laughter, and music, seemed to celebrate along with the prince and princess. Every corner whispered happiness and hope for their future. And so, the prince and princess lived happily ever after. Their story became a legend, a tale of love, patience, and the wisdom to look beyond appearances, treasured for generations.